We have a special guest.
We do. You know her as tough-talking police detective Jane Rizzoli on the hit TV show Rizzoli and Isles.
But now actress Angie Harmon taking on a new and very important role as a UNICEF ambassador.
It's hard to think about, but every year, millions of children are bought and sold. They are forced into prostitution or made to work at grueling, dangerous jobs with little or no pay. And thousands of these children live here. Yes, right here in the United States.
Wow. Here to tell us more about this and what we can do to stop child trafficking is actress Angie Harmon. Angie, did you have, by the way, welcome back.
Thank you.
Did you have any idea this was going on before you got involved? Because most Americans don't.
No, not at all. And I think that's what is, so disturbing about it is this is happening right in our own country as well. One of the wonderful things about being involved with UNICEF is that they are worldwide. This is a global problem, child trafficking. These children that are having their childhoods robbed from them, they're being sold into prostitution or jobs where, it's grueling labor, they're not paid. And it's also happening here. We have children from other countries that are getting over the border, and these kids leave home at like 8 and 9 years old because of violence and things that are happening in their own homes.
How did you get involved? And
I got involved with UNICEF actually by lighting the snowflake here in Manhattan, which I never knew the significance or why that was special. I just thought it was part of New York's Christmas decorations.
That's what you do.
Yes, and actually what it is it's the snowflake for UNICEF, and it is a representation that every child is like a snowflake, every child is different.
Right. And
So,
you touched on a couple of times in your comments about how, we all think it's happening over there somewhere. It's happening in Africa or South America or something like that. But it's happening here in the United States.
It's happening right here in the United States. I mean, you pull up in a truck stop and there are young girls being, prostituted out in these just truck stops right there on the road with 18-wheelers.
How young a kid are you talking about? Kids as
11, 12, 13, young girls that leave home because they feel like they don't have any other options. And then, once these kids get out on their own, and as resilient and as amazing as they are, they're still vulnerable. And, this is where these traffickers find them. They fish in pools of mobility and migration, and that's where they find these young kids.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we can do to try and help combat it. There are some signs or things for people to be aware of, and here's some of the things.
Yes, this is exactly what we can do, and this is all through UNICEF. UNICEF is the only organization that does this. Out of 196 countries, UNICEF is in 190 on the ground, present in those countries, and these are the things that you can do. Also, go to UNICEFUSA.org. If this is something that's close to your heart, and for more information.
The top item was be aware of exploited products produced. What products should we be aware of?
That's the shocking thing. I mean, it's everything. It's from wine and coffee and teas that we drink to cotton that's in our clothes to bricks that build our homes and things like that.
But how do you ever know?
You do research on whatever company it is and ask the questions, are the people that are making this being treated fairly? Are they underage? Are they children? Find out what countries they're coming from.
And by the way, you go to UNICEFUSA.org.
Yes.
On a lighter note, I study your background because I'm curious. I know that you met Jason Sehorn. He's a real guy. You end up marrying him. Michael Strahan introduced you to him, and now he is a host with Kelly.
I know.
When he's this big, brutish, future Hall of Famer, giant offensive lineman, did you say, there goes a talk show host, honey? Did you think he'd be heading there?
No, not at all, ever. But it's hysterical because he's a natural at it.
I know, he's so good.
And it's so funny watching those big, huge hands whenever he gestures. It's like,
and there's Kelly, could get injured.
Who's like teeny tiny pocket person just next to him, just bubbly.
Pocket person.
She is. She's like a little teeny tiny pocket person.
Something I read on the internet, and I don't know if it's true, so I want to ask you.
I'm sure if it's on the internet.
It's got to be true, Steve.
Is it true you were discovered on an airplane by David Hasselhoff?
That is true.
Wow!
Yes.
That is incredible.
That is actually true.
What was his line? Hello there.
No, you know what? Actually, he said that he had. I actually told him no immediately. He was like, "Hi, I have this new show that I'm doing. It's called Baywatch Nights," and I was like, "No." But it was more out of I'd never been. And I'd always wanted to be an actor, but I'd never had a class. I mean, I lived here in New York. I was traveling all the time as a model. I never could stay committed to a class, so I was terrified. And actually, I mean, I owe him so much. I mean, he took a chance on a person who'd,